sola gong gong, bozogi ba otiti, iyedi gedugi wayo, tukasi chukubi, mozo jojo, iyebu, mozo buyani anya, zoyani genabike, tukasi chukubi.
Biafrans, Tokasichuku Obi. Good morning to you anywhere you are watching this video, or if it is your first time of coming across this wonderful platform, Linda's TV show, you are highly welcome. If you like what we are doing here, if you like the kind of content we create here, kindly subscribe, put on your notification bell to all notification. This will enable you to know when we upload a new video. I want to put a disclaimer that here in Linda's TV show, we do not preach misleading information, hate speech, or violence. We are here to educate, inform, sanitize the members of the public about the happenings. In fact, I do not like hate speech. I do not like misleading information. I do not like violence, so I will never promote them here. Remind them that a call for self-determination is not a call for war.
GUINNESS PLC has now joined the list of businesses that are divesting their investments, selling them off as much as they can, and leaving Nigeria. In the process, they are taking with them already dwindling, tax revenue, so to say, but it is happening. Initially, right, a lot of the Abobakus, the voluntary slaves, they said these companies leaving Nigeria, they were leaving because they couldn't compete. If ShopRite says they are leaving Nigeria, there is a Alhaji Aminu kiosk that will replace them. If Emzo, what do you call those people again? DSK, I don't know, GSK rather, or some of these medical manufacturing companies, sort of medical supply manufacturing companies, those who are producing, medical supplies in Nigeria. When they pack up and, left, it was because they couldn't compete. There is a SEC or Sikira Alagbo. Our forefathers were usually drinking Agbo. Now that the price of medication have now skyrocketed, a lot of them are now skipping their medication. They have to choose between eating or paying for their own medication. Everything is catching up to so, right? But the latest is Guinness, and they have been at it for a while. Under Bokwari, they started experiencing the decline. I mean, they said they would reduce your purchasing power. They have done that already. Hyperinflation has reduced your purchasing power. Many people have become more or less like just numbers. The population of Nigeria is no longer profitable. No thanks to these rogues. Usually there's no way, there's no amount of economic downturn in Nigeria history. People will still drink. But there was a time that they were using the profits made by the Guinness, the Nigerian breweries, and the rest of them generally. They were using their profits to gauge Nigeria economy. They said if Nigerians were poor, how come they were drinking this much? How come these alcohol businesses are making so much profits? In Kaduna State, Nigerian brewery is their highest taxpayer ever. Yes, and the money is from alcohol. Yeah, Kaduna. So they used to use that, right, to gauge Nigeria economy and say, well, there's no amount of people go still drink. We don't even know where did they see money to drink. But guess what? You can brag about this number of Nigeria population. Now, more Nigerians have become so poor that they cannot afford basic things, basic needs. And that is evidence. If you go out there, go to the major markets, go to the markets there, ask the traders, those who are first, who are actually like doing daily businesses, ask them about patronage. So they reduce your purchasing power. And the Nigerian brewery, they have been taking a decline. They used to declare profits of 200 billion naira. Abba, who they drink in this economy? But under Bokwari, it started declining and declining. So as at year ending, financial year ending, March 2023, they declared the profit of 5.1 or so billion. Around that time, they have already started like, selling in parts some of the subsidiaries of their business there. They have already started, instead of expansion, they have started cutting down. And so this year, March 2024, they declared for the first time in their own history, over 61 billion loss for their stakeholders. So the stakeholders of Nigerian breweries, the Guinness in particular, they probably will receive zero return on their investment this time around. And it has been declining that way. Even their own shares in the Nigerian Stock Exchange, right? It has been declining. It was one of the top ones. Like if you are looking for where to put your money in Nigeria, like those who love shares investment, just go invest in the Nigerian breweries, NB, and then go to bed. The more you put there, the more you are likely going to have in return. That hasn't been the case in the last 8 years. It has been declining and declining. However, they found a buyer. Okay, finally they found a buyer. Like, you know what? Are you willing to buy the franchise? Are you willing to buy the right to produce Guinness for Nigerians? We are going back. We can no longer continue. They have to deal with multiple taxations. Okay, the cost of production has skyrocketed. Okay, they have to provide their own electricity, water, security. In this insecure Nigeria, they are counting their losses too. Many of their business associates have lost their businesses because Isba in Kano and in northern Nigeria, they continue to destroy more and more businesses, especially under Bokwari. It actually became more. All of these effects, right? They just kind of they are counting their losses and say, you know what? We can transfer all our shareholders to a new buyer who can just pay us. They did not tell us how much they sold their 58.6% shares, which is their own stake, to say, Nigeria, bye-bye, oh. Anybody who is ready to produce Guinness for Nigerians, take. You have the right. Oh yeah, you have the factory too. You have everything. Go and be producing the Guinness for Nigerians. We know they do again. And that has now popped up another theory. And I'm putting this before all of you, because I don't know who knows more than myself that is also watching and can help us. Even though businesses are leaving Nigeria, I'm talking about businesses that have been in Nigeria for donkey years, and they have kind of been part of the lives of Nigerians, so to say. I'm talking about because of the products they offer, from food product, from baby food to baby products to women product to other food, like general product, like food production generally. So even to the production of medical supplies and all that, that could have prompted cheaper, if the production, let's say, for example, if Nigeria had progressed in the last 10 years, that the issue of electricity is not an issue anymore. The issue of fuel subsidy scam is no longer anything anymore, right? And these businesses are able to produce all of their stocks in Nigeria, retain all their staff, even aspire to expand when they make more money. That means more jobs for Nigerians and more money for government through taxes. But they were never protected, and therefore they are now telling us now that in case if we are not paying attention to, these guys know what they are doing. They are seeing all of this, and they are seeing the effect of all of this on the people. It is part of a grand plan and grand scheme. And when we are talking about grand scheme, it's like when you want to capture the people or capture a country. So when you have to do so militarily, you have to do so economically, okay? And finally, you have to do so religiously. If you take a look at what is playing out in Nigeria, there are businesses that are being targeted. Even who are the businesses that are local businesses, they are being targeted, they are being destroyed. Some are being destroyed physically. Some are currently experiencing aggressive takeover. Apart from all this inflation, taxes, corruption, and all of that, businesses have always been existing in Nigeria, trying to survive. Well, they have been surviving. But you see, this set of Tifnubu and his gang, they are different. They have their eyes on choice businesses. They have their eyes on choice lands. They have their eyes on choice properties all over Nigeria. And they will take them over aggressively. That these businesses, these properties, whether they are local or they are foreign, the aggressive takeover has the collaboration of the judiciary, the collaboration of the military, the collaboration of the Nigerian police. Now, an ordinary soldier or an ordinary policeman may probably think I'm speaking Greek. You see, this is more or less like a conspiracy, a theory that is, I don't want to dismiss it. There are businesses currently, as you are watching this video, there are businesses in Nigeria that will still live. It is not just because of this inflation, exchange rates, and all of that. There are some underhand aggressive plan to take them over, including banks, by Tifnubu and his gang. Some of these businesses will be chased out, and as they are moving, the Lebanese, the Indians, and all these partners of Tifnubu, they will take them over as scraps. And if they are to serve you in the long run, well, maybe you can say there is a good thing about that, but there is not. They are killing businesses, forcing them to leave in order to replace them with scraps. Yeah, it sounds somehow, right? Well, a new company is going to be producing Guinness in Nigeria. Not real the Guinness, right? Oh, they will give them the ingredients of the Guinness. And don't you already have the one you say, this one is Nigeria Guinness, this one is imported Guinness, and all of that, Abby? And likewise, so many of your drinks, Abby? So you would have to kind of get to deal with the, I know, right? However, the criminals in Nigeria, okay, and their style of a state capture, okay, it's not like a smooth, it's going to be a smooth sail per se, but they will do it because those of you who were told that he built Lagos, that's slum, right? This is how you are going to find out. You see, there are businesses in Nigeria that even if there's a political gang up of taking them over or chasing them out, without caring for the economic impact on the people, not because they are creating alternative. There is no alternative. But they are telling the people they shouldn't worry. If they want to go, they should go. But the point that sounds like a conspiracy theory. I don't know. I kind of have a feeling that it is real. You know why? This afternoon, when the news of the negotiation between Guinness and they have Guinness and their partner that came to buy, they call them the Tolaram. Okay, so this Tolaram, we have no real idea of the people behind the Tolaram. I know that in the next few days, if we choose to dig, we'll likely find out where the money that Tolaram is using to buy Guinness, as Guinness liquidates their assets in Nigeria and pack and leave. You can possibly trace the money back to the same Tifnumbus and his gang. And that is why I said, if you see businesses that are living, yes, they are all saying the Nigerian business climate is no longer conducive. But there are actually other things where these businesses are facing aggressive takeover from Tifnumbu and his partners. They will sell whatever that is sellable, the government properties, as scraps. Then they will chase down some of the businesses that they probably would love to own in this time, rather than look into their policies, the policies that are making all these businesses, all these investors and investments to pack up and leave Nigeria. Instead of looking into that, they are so deaf to that, blind to that, and they are ready to buy them as scraps for God knows what, to use the government money to run them. I don't know. For the Nigerian workers who are waiting for their own president, they are your president. I mean, those of you who are waiting for, listen, Mayegun, let's leave that for now. You're talking about the workers that are losing their jobs and all that, right? Great. But now, you see, let's talk about what is really going to happen now that Tifnumbu and his guys are offering the workers 62,000 naira in the hyperinflated economy of Nigeria. Well, they said the president of NLC is attending a conference in Geneva, Switzerland. Now, he's in Switzerland, and if they should say they should, mind you, the deadline for the 1 week relaxation of the strike ended last night. Bajero is in Switzerland. Now, if they should go ahead and begin the strike, that means Ajero and others, they will be stuck in Switzerland. So do you see the double standard now? Now, the moment his own plane is in, maybe they will now begin the noise of, we no go gree, or we no go gree, kind of. Anyway, I just thought I should mention that. I'm talking about workers again. Listen, there is this guy, the guy on your screen. Even though they still call him ambassador, but I call him a sex offender, a pedophile. His name is Ibrahim Lamuwa. Ibrahim Lamuwa is, you know, a permanent secretary in Nigeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Now, Lamwa has been accused of sexual assault of 4 women who have come forward. However, sexual harassment in Nigeria, public service, even private sector, is barely spoken about. The reason is because the perpetrators are those who sort of have some leverage over. They usually do that to those below them. And there's always a threat. Nobody will believe you. Because the moment an accusation is made, the next thing that will come up is to begin to victim shame the victims by, like, oh, you are trying to bring down an honest man. Are you the only person in this place? Something that other women are even begging they are even begging for his attention. He is giving you attention and you are calling that harassment. And kind of like that makes a lot of women not to come forward. And also this embarrassment of coming forward has made men, many, you know, men, never to come forward to also file the complaint of sexual harassment. It is interesting that in the midst of all the madness going on in Nigeria, there is still actually those who will stand up and stand firm, you know, ignoring that culture of, you know, you don't see, you don't tell. Don't say, don't tell, or don't talk, don't, whatever. Kind of that the entire Ministry of Foreign Affairs, including the minister, they have actually made it public that indeed Lamwa is a sex predator, a sexual predator, is the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. There is no record that he's been arrested. But as usual, I saw the workers singing their solidarity song. Let's go. So, in Foreign Affairs, in so what? I don't. And that is the assault on 4 women. And these are just those who were able to come forward. And I give them credit for standing up for those women, protecting them, and demanding for the prosecution of this Randy Pamsek. And Alaji, that could marry as many wives as he wants. Possibly, if you go check, right, the ambassador probably he's probably have more than 1 wife. They are always like that. It is not a ram. There are so many of them who are pedophiles, and they hide behind religion that allows them to marry 8-year-old, 10-year-old. And yeah, they are making laws, or they are there to also see to the affairs of all the people under them. I mean, that is the society. Empowering criminals is not new. So you know what happened in Ojo? The Command Secondary School in Ojo, in Lagos. Well, it was also a civilian who happened to be the deputy director in the Ministry of Defense, but he was positioned or stationed at the Command Secondary School in Lagos. We don't know what happened. We just saw these lawless rogues in uniform as usual. They started beating him. Now that sort of enraged the following civilian staff of the Commander School to take to the streets. They wanted the soldiers prosecuted. It is a lawless place, darling. It is a lawless place. And they intentionally made it so. In case if you are wondering, how did we get here? They wanted us all here, right? So go see this.
Services to the military until the minister himself, Minister of Defense himself, and the CDS come here, and then we will give them our own demands. Yes. Because we are endangered now. We don't know who will be next. Richard has died. So many people have been brutalized. too much, so we are not taking it again. We don't want to see anybody except the minister and the CDS, because we must put a stop to this brutality and killing of our civilian staff. Then if that is the case, then there won't be need for Ministry of Defense in Nigeria. If they cannot defend or protect us, and these incidents have been occurring on decimal, see, we cannot take it again.
How many civilians soldiers go kill? How many civilians go kill? How many civilians soldiers go kill? How many civilians go kill? How many civilians soldiers go kill? Hey, they go kill us, they go kill us, they go kill us. How many civilians soldiers go kill?
2 weeks ago, they killed Richard.
They killed the child.
They killed Richard.
Okay.
Richard. They've not buried the guy, and now this one again. For how long will this continue to happen?
One is still in coma.
For how long will this continue to happen? Another one. They beat us. There's a copper that's working in our unit. They beat a copper recently.
Last week.
Was it last week? Then this one yesterday. For how long will this continue to
Okay, now if I get you very well, at the ministry, the officers, the soldiers at the ministry, are the one maltreating civilians that are working there.
Yes. Stations. Yes.
Okay, so have you been reporting?
We've been reporting. Nothing has been done. So this morning we want the chief of staff to come and address us this morning.
Yes, for some time now, the military have been brutalizing our civilians, intimidating them, both at the headquarters here and in the various military formations. Not quite long ago, just about 2 months ago, a civilian staff was killed in Lagos by a Navy officer. About 4 Navy officers gathered him, brutalized him, and killed him. And just yesterday again, an assistant director, equivalent of a brigadier general, not a minister, I'll be done, I'll list you. An equivalent of brigadier general was beaten by a group of private soldiers in Command Secondary School. And not quite long also, in Lungi Barrack, a copper was brutalized by a military man too. In our gate here, one of our comrades.
I said, if Ahmed Bola Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
You say?
I say, if Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
Thank you.
The people are already angry that this is the worst government.
We have just started.
We must learn a lesson. This man!
You're going to trust man. Hand down. Your eyes will see what your mouth cannot talk.
I feel sorry for them. And listen, that is only just for you to see what people are subjected to. And there is nobody to get them out of that. Those are workers, so staff, government workers. They beat up the deputy director. And those guys said, that's not the first time. They have been doing that to them. Sometimes they will grab them and put them in guard room and beat them to death. They killed Richard. They haven't even released his body. He is working for government. Richard didn't do anything. No. That's what Nigeria is. That is what Nigeria is. However, they want the minister to come and address them. It's unfortunate though, right? But it is what it is inside the contraption. Because una dey there. You kept quiet and waiting for God to come and do miracle. See, this afternoon, the news came that the vice president of Malawi, and I think 7 or 8 others. Many others. And 8 others. They have found the wreckage of their aircraft that was declared missing yesterday. So no survivor, which means the vice president of Malawi is dead. And I'm talking about this guy. Okay, that's the vice president of Malawi. Now, when the news of them looking for him and then finally confirmed that they crashed and he's dead, I saw some Nigerians. I even saw some Ghanaians that were on social media and they were using this picture and saying, God, when? For the Nigerians, they are those ones who believe that maybe God will intervene and maybe just they should have similar thing in Nigeria. Kolu should just crash. See, I have said this before and I'm going to say it again. All of you now open your eyes. When you were supposed to stand up and reject this evil that was befalling you, you were waiting on God to come and do a miracle like it happened in Malawi, Abi. Meanwhile, you allowed these charlatans, people like this, who were on your TV and still there, allow you to bring on a drug dealer, as well as a Boko Haram sympathizer, Tipnumbu and Shitty man, as your president and vice president. And you think you value your life, or the rest of the world will respect you. Where do you think that is going to be coming from? This one has somebody, Papa, somebody forged certificates. And another person went on TV. These are the characters running Nigeria now. Listen to this. Have you forgotten this?
One thing Nigerians need to know is that in that certificate, because it's ceremonial, you even have the right to redesign it to your own taste. That is the truth. What is important is the transcript.
Redesign it to your own taste.
Absolutely. You can Google it. It's out there. They advertise it out there in the US. If you have lost your certificate, we can get it back for you.
The people that forge certificates, where you have many other criminals as them, that kind of character. You see, you listen to that, eh? That is the kind of people running Nigeria now. That is the kind of people that want to build Nigeria economy. Those are the characters that want to defend Nigerians. And yes, they are parading themselves everywhere. We are working to fix Nigeria. You have somebody who no go school, who no get certificate, lied about it, is your president, and you are waiting for God to come and do what? You be mumu if you think, say, your problem is over. The moment Tipnumbu is removed, or it crashed and he dies or something, are you that slow? Are you that slow? How many years were you praying for Bokuwari? And then after his 8 years, to some of you who are so slow, who believed that there is nothing that can be worse than Bokuwari, nothing. No one in that Nigeria that can be worse than Bokuwari. Some of you put everything on the line, shouting this your renewed shege. We were here. And now you are acting surprised. Why are you acting surprised? You elected, what do you call it? You supported Tipnumbu, a drug baron, certificate forger, to come and run your country, yeah? And you are expecting him to run it like Obama. That's a joke, right? So right now, Nigeria is a place where anything goes. A place where anything goes. And the reason is that in Nigeria, they are discussing, you see, 25 years of democracy in Nigeria. Right now, we are discussing the right of cows. And then we have all these cows, or these human-like, cow-brained individuals who are trying to twist history. I played this video this afternoon. I'm playing to the general the general gathering tonight. They said that the reasons why the Fulanis are committing, you see, Nigeria is a poverty capital of the world today, right? Not only because of the mismanagement, well, it is practically because of the entire mismanagement of the affairs of Nigeria, okay? Nigeria is not safe because instead of going after the criminals and the terrorists that are perpetuating all this terrorism, those who are attacking the core survivor base of supposed Nigerians, agriculture, Fulani terrorists, destroying farms, killing farmers. See, yesterday, over 50 farmers were slaughtered in Katsina. Okay, 2 days ago, more than 150 people were kidnapped in Niger State. And that includes more than 10 fishermen that were slaughtered and killed by these same terrorists. The ISWAP and the gang, they are expanding their base, their territory, and they are so comfortable in these regions as we speak. How do you combat hunger if you cannot farm and kind of grow your own food? Everybody talks about, let's do this, let's do that, yeah, and the rest of that. But in actual fact, nobody is doing anything. They said the Fulanis needed to feed their cows. And Nigerians must understand that as the population of Nigeria grows, the population of animals also grows. And therefore, the animals like the cows in Nigeria, they have rights. Banning the movement of cows is against the cows' rights. I mean, these are the guys, so like I said, cows in Agbada. This one I'm going to play for you right now is Issa Yuguda. He's the former governor of Bauchi State. He's a criminal that is a guest of their EFCC too, that looted over 70 billion naira when he was governor of Bauchi State. Issa Yuguda. Now, Issa Yuguda wants to let us know now that there was a time that Lord Lugard used the Fulani. They said, hey, Magbo, they said Lord Lugard used the taxes he collected from the Fulanis and their cows, that it was the taxes that Lugard collected from the Fulanis in 1907 that they used to build Nigeria. And now Nigerian government abandoned them. They did not provide them schools. They did not provide them this. Meanwhile, like every other tribe or ethnic nationality in Nigeria, everyone have where they come from. So if there is no government if there is no government present in your own community, do you then go on a killing spree, kidnapping spree, to say because the government did not? So this guy sat there and he was now talking about grazing routes. They said Lord Lugard created grazing routes. They said Lord Lugard created cattle colony. And you know, so many people have been repeating this lie too. So this afternoon, and I'm going to repeat it now, we need to start asking these criminals who have not built a single ranch to help any Fulani others anywhere in Nigeria, in northern Nigeria. But they are 100% against the ban on open grazing. If the states in Nigeria, southern Nigeria, will not give them land for ranching, then the right of the cows is being infringed upon, and it will never be allowed. Editing the constitution or amending constitution to ban the movement of cow is against the Fulanis. And that guy is yet, nobody is yet to present to us any cattle colony created by Lugard. Any, even in northern Nigeria, any single cattle colony. They said, Lugard created grazing routes from Sokoto to Calabar. Can anybody tell us the road constructed by Lugard from Sokoto to Calabar? Can anybody point to a road constructed by Lugard from Borno to Lagos? The answer is zero. There is nowhere in Nigeria history that they said there was a map. Oh, nobody has given us that because it doesn't exist. But they kept saying it. Fulani have passed, they have routes that they always pass to come to southern Nigeria. Okay? And therefore, like cow gods in India, wherever their cow walked is a sacred land, and that land automatically become their own. Can you even believe that? Now listen to this mofo. I played the video this afternoon, and I'm playing it again. Kind of listen.
Before you go, of course, we know the heated debate that's currently ongoing about the bill before the National Assembly concerning open grazing. I'd love to know your take and your position on it.
Well, the issue of open grazing or closed grazing, do I say is an afterthought? Because where were the previous Nigerian governments when the livestock that we've had since the creation of Nigeria, where have they not been seeing the livestock milling up and down? Are they not aware that the population of the animals are increasing? Or are they not aware that human beings are giving birth on a regular basis? The white man, when he came, quite all right, he established cattle routes from Sokoto to Lokoja, from Maiduguri to Oturpo, and then the cattle route from those towns to Calabar or Port Harcourt is 50 meters setback on the right side of the road, 50 meters setback on the left side of the road. Because then cattle never go to the southern part of the country because such a fly would not allow them to live because it was not eradicated. And we see the white man also, after Lord Lugard finished the conquest of northern Nigeria in 1907, he wanted to set up a government. After setting up the government, there was no, he has to start collecting tax. And who was the first victim of taxation of the white man? It was the Fulani man. That is what they call jangling, cattle tax. And that is what started the economy of Nigeria. Because the correspondences are there in the office of the Secretary to the federal government. Any person who wants to go and have access to the records to read, let him go out there and read. You see where after collecting the revenue, you write the King of England, I have collected so from jangling. I want the balance of so for my capital and recurrent expenditure. And that is what happened until around 1914, when other sources of revenue, including tax, groundnuts, hides and skin, and others, became a source of revenue for funding government. So, and the injustice on the Fulani man started since then. And what is that injustice? Taxation is on profit, not capital. The nage itself, that is the cattle, is the capital. So they were paying tax on capital, not tax on profit. So you can see the so-called, to quote Opabio, the gun-carrying Fulani, had his setback right from day one. But that time he never carried AK-47. So, and this thing continued. And of course, you can see their experience has been very bitter. Some of them are arrested by police for doing nothing, and they are told to sell their cattle to be released. Some of them, the alkalis, and so on and so forth. But to be fair, the white man established cattle routes and grazing reserves all over Nigeria. These cattle reserves, cattle reserves, and then routes are there gazetted as official documents, and they remain so. But we all know this veterinary research firm was established because of them, for their cattle, because The cattle had to be well before they can impose tax on them. So they kept them, and they kept them on their transhumance, traversing from north to south, north to south. But not until much, much later, when Abuja started as a federal capital, almost all the northern Fulani herders ended their journey in Abuja. That's during the dry season. This is where they come and spend the dry season because there is sufficient fodder and also there is sufficient water before they go back to the northern part of the country. With Abuja, almost the whole of them went south. Because the stories of the deprivation of the Fulani is just a very pathetic story. And of course, since independence, they have been serving as the only means of protein for the country. They move up and down. The government is seeing them. Government has intervened in agriculture, clearing fields for planting, like NALDA. They buy fertilizer, they buy this, they buy that, but not animal husbandry. So this unfortunate professional group were left on their own. Well, so it is appropriate now that government has come to... Hello? I'm just...
So normally, I would expect Abati and Co. to ask him a question and say, Mr. Yuguda, you were 8 years governor in Bauchi State, one of the states known to have Fulanis. What did you do to help ameliorate all these things, right? Because now it is more profitable, which we believe is a ruga in disguise. Here is what we found. The reason why the Fulani North, that will never, I'm talking about their political leaders, so they will never invest a dime, okay? 25 years ago, when the military left, some people thought they were going to have a small London by now. Nigeria was going to be a great country. 25 years after the military, in this demonstration of grace, we are discussing the right of cows. If the cows should be in the ranch, or if the cows should be roaming. So the reason why these northern rogues don't want the bill is that even though it sounds like every state must give land, but inside that bill, it says the land must come from the state where the Fulanis come from. So you as a Fulani, you can't say you're a Fulani from Oyo. It's impossible. Or you're a Fulani from Enugu. No way. So you'd have to go back to Sokoto. And what is wrong in that? So they're asking them to say, no, every state must give land. And even when they told them that, okay, yeah, we can make it law that every state must give land, they believe that it is a deceit to deceive them, because the land in Nigeria is controlled by states and by expectation. The state from southern Nigeria, as mad as some of the governors are, they are still afraid to give any piece of land for Ruga. So these Fulani guys believe that if they were deceived into supporting it, number one, it will become very much official for every state to go after these terrorists, just using that law alone. No to open grazing. Now, if they kind of come after these terrorists under that law, so they may claim and say, well, you didn't give us ranching. Ranches. They'll say, did you buy one? Did you buy land? Or did you offer to buy land and you are not sold? So they believe that these southern guys, they are plotting something to lure them. So to them, no, we don't care. Even if the bill says they should give us land, we don't trust you. No, we don't care. So we'll shut it down. Just day after that, there are many things to shut down, because you see this talk about regionalism, regional system in Nigeria is actually gaining its own momentum while they are waiting to celebrate the 25 years of democracy.
Hello, my wonderful people. As you have finished watching this interesting video, please, I want to see your comment, your contribution, your opinion in the comment section. Like I said earlier, let us do it constructively. Tell me what you think about this video that you have just watched, and also about the platform. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please remember to subscribe, put on your notification bell, share this video, and remain blessed.